Okay, it's early February, and what I'm going to do now is sow some tomatoes in the heated propagator, and I'm going to sow some broad beans that will sit in my cool greenhouse. For the tomatoes, I'm going to sow them in trays like this. I want about 20 tomato plants in total, and and when I grow those, I probably want about 12 cherry ones and about 8 beef ones. I might do a third variety, I haven't decided yet, because I've got a space for about 20 in my greenhouse. So what I'm going to do is plant them in this, and I'll probably plant 2 to 3 seeds per pot, and then they'll be potted on later. That will give me more than I need, and again, what I'll probably do then is pass on to others if there's any surplus. So I'm going to grow them in one of these. These are just 2-inch trays, and then they're going to sit in the heated propagator here, and I've got my artificial light going as well. Hopefully they'll germinate within the next 1 to 2 weeks. I've got quite a variety of tomato seeds. This one is cherry, which I've ordered this year. I did have some cherry over from last year, so I might do some of each. I'm going for a beefsteak tomato, which is this country F1, and I've also from last year got some beef Italian Costoluto Florentino one, so I'm going to do a mix of all those three. Compost, I've just used normal compost and a bit of vermiculite in it as well. Just fill the tray up, take out any of the big lumps in it. You can see I've already changed what I was doing because I've added an extra tomato variety. I see I've got some spare San Marzino from last year, and they are nice. They're really good. Very little white and pips in them, so they're very good if you're making sauces and things. So I've added those. Okay, so seeds are in, and I've given them the water. So as I did with the chili peppers, I'm just going to put a bit of vermiculite over the top here. And the reason is that as the seeds come through, it'll stop them damping off if the top of the soil's a little bit damp. And it's going to go in a heated propagator, and you need to keep the compost moist but not wet. And should be one to 2 weeks, you should see them start to come through. So we'll come back to that when it happens. They are on the propagator. It's a toasty 18 degrees at the moment, so hopefully that should get up to about 20 when it's zipped up like that. Right, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to do broad beans. I tend to grow, I got space for 72 broad beans, and I tend to start them off in pots now in February, and I tend to put them into 3-inch pots. Now 72 is a lot, but I've got a large area to plant them in there, and what I find is that whilst we eat as many as we can whilst they're fresh in July, they do freeze well, and we are, even though it's February, we're still eating frozen broad beans that we had back in July. So I do a load. Well, I'll show you how I'm gonna do them, and where I'm gonna put them. So I'll cover that now. Compost I use for this is just straightforward garden compost. You don't have to worry too much about it. Take the very big lumps out, but you don't really need to worry too much about this because broad beans are pretty sturdy in terms of pushing through. So just just use normal garden compost. So 3-inch pots. I don't bother adding anything like vermiculite in these. Like I say, just take some. If you've got any big lumps in your compost, just take them out. But apart from that, fill your pots. I'm going to do these about 10 at a time because, as I said, I'm going to do 80. I need 78. Not all these will come, so what will happen is in about a few weeks' time, the ones that haven't come, I'll replant and do it that way. So in effect, I'll ensure I'll end up with at least 78 in for March, which is when I'll plant them out. Now, broad beans, I've got to collect a mixture of new seeds and let's just turn that a bit. New seeds and ones I've had previously. Now, say in the packet, 2 inches deep in soil. So, as I tend to do, this is what they look like. Go for the biggest and put them in on their ends. That's the way to do it. So just basically pop them in there about 2 inches deep. That's done a lot of that first 10, and then just a little bit of soil over the top, and then these will be going out to water, and then I'll show you where I'm going to put them in their final place because it's going to go in a greenhouse. I don't think at this stage it doesn't matter about frost, to be honest, because they're very hardy, but in the greenhouse it'll just be a bit warmer, so it'll push them on. Okay, so I'll take these for watering. Okay, I'm here in my one greenhouse, and I'll show you where I put the broad beans. So as you can see, I got a tray here. Broad beans are in the things now. I haven't done them all, but I'll finish them off after. I generally just put them in the light on the tray, and then leave them there. So there we go. There's half of them. There's 28 there, and I'm going to do the others now. And again, I'm not too fussed about frost, but once they pop their heads up, if there is forecast of frost, I'd probably put a little bit of fleece over them in the evenings or overnight. But apart from that, I'll just leave them here to get started. Okay, that's them all done. So there is 79 plants. I need 72. So what I'll do is, as these grow, any ones that don't come, I'll be adding in a couple of weeks' time, popping another seed in to bring them on. And of course, before they get planted out, end of Marchish, they will be hardened off and that, but I'll go through all that as we do it. You do it, Scrafter.